Since Joel Alvarez was out of his fight Saturday with Benoit Sandeni, Mateusz Gamrot wanted to fight Benoit Sandeni, but Benoit Sandeni turned down the fight next week, is what Gamrot says. What's wrong with you guys? Grow some balls. Cowards! Would have been a good opportunity for Benoit Sandeni to move up the rankings if he got the victory. He's number 13 and Gamrot is number 7, but it's a much different stylistic matchup than Joel Alvarez. Gamrot will be a much more wrestling heavy pace, whereas Alvarez would probably look to knock him out on the feet. If it hit the ground, it'd be Benoit taking Alvarez down, and then from his back, Alvarez is extremely dangerous. Benoit Sandeni actually has a new opponent, someone who a lot of fans may not even know. Windsor, Ontario's Kyle Prepelic will replace Joel Alvarez on Saturday to face Benoit Sandeni at UFC 315. Prepelic is 4-1 since his first stint in the UFC. Many may not have even known that he fought in the UFC, but he did in 2019. He fought Nordine Taleb and he lost the unanimous decision. 4 months later, he fought Austin Hubbard and also lost the unanimous decision. Benoit Sandeni will be a colossal favorite in this fight. If you bet $1 million on him and win, you might win like 3 pennies. 3 Canadian pennies. Tracy Cortez is going to be taking on Viviane Araújo. That's UFC 317, June 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's number 10 and 8 in the flyweight division. Cortez 10, Araújo number 8. Araújo is coming off a victory over Karine Silva in November. Cortez hasn't fought since she fought last year against Rose Namajunas, and she lost a decision in that one. Some of the other fights on the UFC 317 card so far, you got Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov, chance for Kopylov to move up in the middleweight rankings. And also you have Brandon Royval versus Manal Kape. That is at 125. Title shot implications there for the winner in the 125 division. Also on the card in the lightweight division, Johnson versus Zellhuber, as well as a heavyweight contest between Deniz and Tafa. Belal Muhammad thinks he's going to beat Jack Della Maddalena in round 3. He'll probably win, but a stoppage is less probable. 7 of his last 8 victories have been by decision, and JDM has not been stopped in 9 years.
They're going to see the best fighter in the UFC. They're going to see the most dominant fighter in the UFC. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to outbox him. I'm going to make sure that he knows that there's levels to this boxing, that he knows what Canelo hands means. And then he's going to have to sit there and think of a plan B. There isn't going to be no plan B. He's going to have to pull guard and hope that some of that Craig Jones butt scooting will help him, but it's not. I'm going to break him. I'm going to fold him. He's going to go down in 3.
Petr Yan been talking a little trash to Cory Sandhagen. They fought in 2021, and Petr Yan won a unanimous decision, 49-46 on all the scorecards, and all the judges scored every round the same way. They gave the first round to Cory Sandhagen, but then the next 4 went to Petr Yan, 10-9 on the scorecards. There's talk of Petr Yan fighting Marcus McGee, but if that fight does not happen, maybe he can fight Sandhagen. This trash talk is enticing Sandhagen a little bit to take the fight if he doesn't get a title shot.
Fight Yan to figure this out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not going to commit to that until after the title fight for sure. But I mean, I'm not opposed to fighting Yan. I would love to fight Yan, especially because he likes kind of spreading the narrative that, like, remember what happened, like last time we fought, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, Yan, dude, I took that on 4 weeks notice on your side of the country in a fight that I only had a month to get ready for. And he's a really good fighter, so you need more time than that to get ready for the guy. And not to mention that I was winning that fight all the way up until I got hit with like that crazy, spinny, weird shit that he hit me with that I'll never let him hit me with again. So let's not act like that was like a one-sided fight, because I was winning that fight until I got dropped at the end of the 3rd. So if it means fighting Yan again, then for sure. But I mean, the title should be next for me.
For Cory Sandhagen, it may make sense just to be a backup fighter for UFC 316 June 7th. Guys are always falling out of fights, and O'Malley was walking around in crutches, so who knows? Maybe he won't even make the fight. O'Malley can slide in and then lose to Merab. Or maybe beat him. Maybe beat him and become the champ. The UFC 318 main event has been announced, but the UFC 317 main event has not been announced. Maybe they're going to announce it Saturday night in Montreal after the event at the post-fight press conference. It all depends on what happens in the main event. If Belal wins, Dana White will go up to the podium at the press conference and say that Topuria is fighting Makhachev, UFC 317, June 28th. If Belal loses, then Dana's going to go up to the podium and say Ilia Topuria is fighting Charles Oliveira in the main event at UFC 317, and JDM will fight Makhachev, who will move up to 170, and they'll fight later this year.
UFC 315 is 5 days away. it might actually end up being what we were kind of talking about, which is they're going to wait and see what happens, which is wild that, that we may find out at the press conference. Is it possible Dana's going to rock up at that press conference on Monday? Excuse me, on early Sunday morning in Montreal and just say, all right, as a result, it's this guy. Is Islam training for June 28th? And is Charles training for June 28th? And if it ends up being Islam, is Charles fighting someone else?
For Belal Muhammad, it's a no-brainer that he's going to win Saturday night. So in his opinion, the UFC should just announce what they're planning on announcing right now, because nothing's going to change in terms of the title picture on Saturday. He's going to win.
So I hate to even ask you about Islam Makhachev, but I'm only going to do so in the context of something you said to us when we were getting ready to call your fight against Sean Brady. You had all these positive things to say about Islam. You weren't at all thinking about the possibility of getting asked about him as a future opponent, and you talked about his humility and just how great he was, and now it seems like maybe there's some sort of holdup. Have you known him to be desirous of becoming a double champion prior, maybe more than trying to go down as like the greatest lightweight champ of all time?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. We said it, and he's, oh man, you ruined my plans. It's one of those things, like, oh, you wanted to, you ruined my plans.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, where there's people now, they're waiting to see what happens this weekend. But I tell them, like, I would get your fight signed, because I'm not leaving Montreal without the belt. I'm still gonna be the champ. So start your camp right now. Whoever you have in line, whoever you have in the store, you're good.
Knee to the body, crumbles Bo Nickel, undefeated no longer, and say hello to a real contender, Ryan Ear to Ritter.
Do you think subconsciously Bo Nickel was doing the weight thing because he was very concerned about Ryan to Ritter's size? Because RDR's a big dude, especially when they walked out there. RDR was big. He was just walking him down. And honestly, Chill, he made Bo look like a guy that isn't that good and not ready for the highest level of competition.
So, Jimena, what are you going to do when Drake puts the 9 inches in you?
What the fuck?
Hey, that's got.
I'm Pascal Kraus.
This is Eric Newbreed Coat. Joe K-San. Again. One more.